Flawless victory.
We in the dojo, ain't no days off. The way isn't training, you don't bleed in practice, you die in the field. Look, swinging the wood till my knuckles are bleeding. I don't need rest, it's the combat I'm needing. 10,000 hours, I'm locked in the zone. Carving my spirit right down to the bone. Stepping my radius, watch how I sever. I'm swinging this blade like I do this forever. Practice make lethal, the rest make me cold. I'm gripping the steel till my body gets old. You talking that talk, but you skipping the gym. I look at the weekend, I pity for him. Every single morning, I wake up and strike. You never seen discipline looking like. I empty my lungs and I swing out the chest. I treat every shadow like it is a test. The way is the practice is war. I leave all my enemies down on the floor. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the way isn't training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap at the right, yeah, we put in that pain. Don't talk about love, but the way isn't training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. Look at the calluses, cover my hands. I'm executing these tactical plans. You sleeping in late, I was up in the dark. Leaving the den and the wood in the bark. Slow down the tempo, I'm taking my time. Perfect the angle, I perfect the crown. 1,000 more cuts just to build up the muscle. You don't understand the extent of the hustle. Drilling the parry, I'm drilling the block. I'm beating the sun and I'm beating the clock. There ain't no secret, there ain't no hack. You step on the battlefield, you don't come back. Unless you put hours and hours of sweat. I am a consequence, I am a threat. Continue with practice, I never retreat. I'm dropping the opposition at my feet. Rap out the rap, yeah, we put in that pain. And don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Blood on the wood and the sweat on the mat. I'm drilling the bases, I'm leaving it flat. Rap out the rap, yeah, we put in that pain. And don't talk about love, but the ways in training. Slide in the footwork, I pivot and pop. I'm built for the trenches, I never will stop. No days off, no excuses. You skip a day, you slip away. Strike 1,000 times before the sun is up. My mind is heavy, but my blade is light. Drill it again. Yeah. Aggressive approach when I step in the ring. I swing with the force that a hurricane bring. Master the form till the form is a ghost. I'm doing them all. Keep swinging. Keep drilling. The ways of practice. Yeah. Yeah. The bays up.
What is up? What is up? What is up, everyone? How is everyone doing tonight? I am Teco Trout. We are Engineered to Win. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the winning team. Another day, another win. We are getting started early tonight because guess what? Like I said a few weeks ago, no more pre-T-ball practice. We're able to get started a little bit earlier so we can get done a little bit earlier and get on with our lives. The goal for today is finish up the splash page for the app on Apple for the Tech Barbarians coaching portal. And then we want to be able to test it on an actual Apple device. However, I don't have an actual iPhone to test it on. So I want to give it a try on, AWS device farm, and we're going to try to load the app there to see how that's going to work, right? So that is our goal for today. We do have some great break time topics. Billionaires in Florida creating their own private schools for kids. Is that fair? Or is that financial segregation? We're going to look into that. We're going to be talking about how these legacy tech stocks are getting a boost from AI. Yes, they are. And lastly, you guys keep hearing how AI is going to replace software engineers in the near future. They said about a year or two ago in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So we're going to see why companies are looking for software engineers to be able to handle their AI. What is going on over there? So that's what we're going to be talking about during our breaks for today. But before we jump into any of that, I just want to say a big shout out and thank you to all of the subscribers to the channel, helping us grow, helping us get this tech message across the world. Thank you for allowing me to add value into your life. Shout out to my tech barbarians. We had an amazing vibe coding show this past weekend. So much great conversations. I look forward to every other Saturday to have this conversation with you guys. Had a coaching call yesterday and it was just great to see how the collaboration, how people are feeding off of each other. Just great stuff. Shout out to my tech barbarians. We have a scrum night coming up this coming Saturday. So we're going to finish up the things that we've been working on for the past month. And then we are going to jump in for the next 2 weeks. We just work so hard day in and day out. Shout out to all of my tech barbarians. Shout out to my tech mercenaries, the YouTube channel members. Thank you for keeping this channel alive and growing, helping us share this tech news across the entire world. So shout out to every last one of you. All right, tomorrow I'm going to be releasing a video about Google's anti-gravity 2.0, not 1.0, not 1.5, but 2.0. I did a little bit of exploratory testing. We looked at their keynote talking about how they built a whole operating system in about 12 hours and they were able to play Doom on it. Yes, Doom, the game Doom. I tried to build an app, a app for my son. It's like a educational game where it talks about math, reading, all this type of stuff, and then they get to do a dinosaur fight at the when they answer a certain amount of questions right. I'm gonna share with you my experience. Pretty cool, but there were some challenges along the way. So that's what we're gonna be talking about tomorrow. Yesterday I had a candid conversation about how our favorite politicians, all they want to do is tax. All we want to do is win. All they want to do is tax. They want to tax AI so they can invest in people, whatever that means. So go check out the candid conversation from yesterday. Check out the Google Anti-Gravity 2.0 exploration tomorrow. All that good stuff. We're going to be back live on Thursday night working on testing our AI models, our RAG for jiu-jitsu. We're having so much fun with that. We're having so much fun with that. We're going to continue this coming Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you there. Next week, I cannot promise we're going to have any live streams because I will not be in the studio and I'm not going to be in a different time zone as well. If I'm able to, if time permits, I will do something, but no promises, no guarantees, but we'll see. We shall see. All right. So that is everything that we have lined up for the next few days. We know that we have the bug bite on Friday, but we'll talk about that on Thursday, Sunday. Continue. We're going to live stream again. So you know how we do. We do not miss. We keep working whenever we are capable. If there is breath in our body, we will be working. All right. With that being said, we're gonna just jump straight into work because I want the show to be moving. I don't want us to have any delays. Hopefully the internet holds up. It is kind of rainy down here. It is what it is. But guess what? The work must go on. So with that being said, we are going to get started in the show. I'm gonna put up our first 20 minutes on the clock.
It's time to do.
All right. So, like I said, we're going to be working on AWS Device Farm for real device testing. We've done the emulators and everything like that. However, to get started off, I do want to check how our splash page is working. Maybe we can fix that before we get into the AWS Device Farm. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into over here. And how did that happen? Okay. Oh, did I do that? Let me try something real quick. I don't know. Yes. Give me a second here. Something weird is happening. Host love. That is weird. Where's that button now? All right, give me a second. What did I do? Where is Stream Deck? It's weird. I don't know why that button's not working. Well, we'll just stay on the side view regardless. I don't know what's going on with that, but it is what it is. So let's go and jump into working on a little something. Let's go over to starting up the iOS simulator. I want to see if if our splash screen has been resolved yet. And then we're going to jump into iOS testing. Back on the iPhone Air, we're going to say, we're on iPhone Air, we're going to kick it off. What up, Rod Brown? How are you doing today? Hopefully you're having an amazing, amazing day and week in the beautiful country of the United States of America. Please don't go. Please don't move across the world, Rod Brown. All right, let's see here. Let's wait for it to build. And all we really want to see is that splash screen. If it's still looking weird. We tried to fix it the other day. We ran out of time, so we're going to continue with that. Let me also look up to see what was the last command that we ran in Kilo. Did we use Kilo last time? I think so. And I'm not using, I mean, I should, but I'm not. But I'm not using, maybe we should. I'm just thinking. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to. Let's go to Anti-Gravity 2.0. I'm going to see if I can do Anti-Gravity fully agentic mode. That way we can. So the last command that we did in Kilo was the launch screen storyboard stuff. Just like with the logo shapes, iOS aggressively caches launch screen, so you may need to delete your app. Oh yeah, I think we did get it. I think we did. Let me stop it and start it one more time. Let me make sure. So we're looking at over here. And let's see what happens. It's very tricky to test Apple, right? Oh yeah, it looks good. I wish the background was a little bit more transparency, but it is what it is. So I think we're good on this front. So now we are going to I don't recall when was the last time we built the IPA. Let me go. So we don't need Kilo over here. Let me go and check the build. I'm going to go and check the iOS IPA. Let's open this in Finder. And this was built May 26, 9/26, which would have been a week ago. Yep. So we have the latest build. So now we don't even need any, we don't really need any AI at the moment. So I am going to go to my AWS console. I have to log into that. And another thing to keep in mind, I don't believe that Google has iOS devices. So if we go to Firebase over here, log in and enable streaming. Let me log into that. Continue. Let's say we were to do, I don't know. Confirm, I guess. Android Studio device streaming will become incompatible with this. Okay, so we have to upgrade our Android Studio at some point. But if you notice, they don't have Apple over on Firebase, which makes sense. But I think that gives AWS an advantage where you can test any device that you want. So I'm going to go and log into AWS device, AWS platform. And then we shall, then I'll show you how I navigate to getting into the device farm. I just got to do my authentication first. But this is the type of stuff that is really, really important, even in the age of AI, because AI is not going to be able to do this stuff for you. Being able to to know how to find devices to use so that you can be able to test. All of this stuff is part of being a QA engineer, being a software engineer, setting up infrastructure, Terraform, being able to parse through logs, knowing what to search for. Because AI can be that force multiplier, but it is not going. It can't just do it for you. So as much as they try to say, "Oh, there's not going to be any more software engineers," like every single QA person that I speak to, we have never been more busier. Like it's like we are so busy now because we're still responsible for testing all the stuff that the engineers are putting out, but we're also trying to build our own tools and our own skills so that we can be more efficient. So I'm building different tool sets, scripts, and stuff like that. I have other engineers who are building model context protocol servers, either as to consume from or to contribute to. It's just a lot of great stuff happening. What a time to be alive, right? Let me do something real quick. All right, so we are going to go to here. Okay, so it's working over here. That's weird. The screen switching. All right, so I am going to say, I'm just going to do this test mobile project right here. And I am going to go, so all right, let's start from the beginning, right? So when you're inside of AWS, you're going to, if it's not in your recently visited, you're going to go to device farm and go to device farm. So on device farm, you can test Apple/iOS devices, can test Android devices. Let me see if there's any other ones in there, but I'm going to go into this test project that I created back in 2024. I've been using device farm for a long time now. I was so excited when they first created it, because before device farm, your options were to use, what is that company called? What is that company called? Let me see if I can find it. So there was Device Anywhere. No, not Device Anywhere. There was Browser Stack, and then what is the other one? Sauce Labs. So there was Sauce Labs and Browser Stack. And the problem with using those companies, they're more for enterprise type companies, because you need like $5,000 subscription to use it for a certain amount of time, right? I was so excited when AWS came out with Device Farm, because AWS is a pay-as-you-go service, right? So it's not like you're paying some type of monthly subscription. That's why I was so super excited about it. So now I can, and they give you like 1,000 free minutes that you can use. But so we're going to go into, so from your mobile, so from your device farm, if you don't have a mobile project yet, you can just go create a mobile project, and you would say project name, Tech Barbarians Coaching Portal Testing, right? And if you have like IAM, this is another great opportunity for practicing identity and access management, where you can, like, if you want to become an identity and access management engineer, setting up the role, who can access this project. There are so many different ideas for people who want to be in tech. You have to execute though. All right. So we have that. We're going to say create. So then you just create. And I'm going to say remote access, and you can also do automated testing on this as well. So for instance, let's say you set it up this way, right? Here's an example of how you could use automated testing with AWS Device Farm, your CI/CD pipeline. So you push your code to GitHub, and it runs through the CI/CD pipeline. It creates your IPA files, your APK files, your bundle files, whatever it is. And then it takes that file and it passes it into an automated test run that will be triggered in your pipeline by the AWS device farm. And now it runs and it returns to you, letting you know if that passes or not, which is I was talking to one of my tech barbarians about this, who's testing the Speak Precisely app. And they were talking about how could they get more automated type runs. And I'm like, oh, you know what? Just thinking about it right now, that's a great idea. It's not free, but it saves you a lot of time. So always ideas, things that we can work on, things to improve. So I don't believe there's any excuses. Okay. So we're going to go to remote access though, create a remote access session. And I want to find, I want to do iOS for now. Let's do Apple. Let's go Apple, iPhone. And let's go with 17 Pro Max, maybe. Can we do a Pro Max? Let's see if there's any Pro Maxes available. So you can choose whatever phone you want, right? And I go to here and I'm going to say, I don't think we have. So now select applications. I'm going to do upload your own because I don't have any existing uploads. Select app uploads from within the device farm project. So if you're to upload apps within the device farm project, you could choose from that. We don't have that, so I'm just going to go to, I'm going to do a drag and drop. Where's my Finder? Let's go to drag that bad boy. All right, so now our IPA file is uploading, and we should be able to test that. And this right here is a great testing tool, device farm, because a lot of times you can test on an emulator, right? You can test on a simulator. It's still not the real deal. So, and I don't have a iPhone that is up to date enough to be able to test this. And you have different variations of devices as well that you can test on. So all of that is important when testing. All right. So we have our IPA uploaded. We have the package. We have the minimum OS, minimum ARM. Upload an iOS app or a IPA. Be sure to build. Is that like? I'm guessing the auxiliary app is like adding an additional app that goes with it. I don't know. I've never heard of an auxiliary app before. I do wonder, are you able to get like a watch? No watches. iPhone. All right, so we have that. We are going to go to confirm and start session. So now it's going to be looking for an Apple iPhone 17 Pro Max. And once it finds that, it's going to provision that device so that I can actually use it. And it's going to install my app on it as well. And I guess you could open it in a new tab if you wanted to. I don't think we need to do that. But this is how, if you wanted to test your app on different devices and not limited to your own personal device or to the emulators, this is one issue, kind of an issue, not necessarily an issue, but one issue that we would have is that by installing the IPA, I don't think we're going to be able to test the purchase flow, but we could probably bypass it in the database, the user to make sure that they have full access so that we can navigate through it. Now this one's taking its sweet precious time. What up, my guy Junior Largy? My guy Junior Largy, not Junior Largy, because I know Rod Brown, Carrie. Maybe he's trying to say Junior Largy. I'm like, nope. It's Junior Largy. What up, my guy? Let's see. What's taking so long? Gee whiz. I'm impatient. AI has made me impatient. However, in the meantime, while this is doing its thing, oh, well, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. There we go. So this is how iPhone 17 looks. There goes our little app right here. And let me see what this Appium URL is. Let me just paste it somewhere. So if I wanted to run, so there goes details. Like if you wanted to run automated tests, like Appium is the automated testing platform for mobile devices. So like if we were to, and they have it in Java, they have it in Python, they have it in probably C#, a bunch of different languages. We would use that to write our automated tests, which maybe we could, maybe we couldn't do. I don't know. Let's go ahead. Maybe that'll be something like write some automated tests using AI to test these applications and then run them through Device Farm. Maybe. All right. So let's go ahead and click on the app itself. Ooh, I like that. And now we got to sign in. So we'll find a user name. If we go with, let me try to. And then let me switch off the screen for a second. And we are going to do all right. So we are in. So now we're using Device Farm in order to be able to navigate the app. So, so that's the thing. Let's go to add a goal, and then we're gonna say testing daily goal from Device Farm, and then we have to do okay. So. See, here's where we're gonna have a little bit of an issue, because if we do this, in-app purchases are not allowed because we are using Device Farm. However, we could do like a bypass and give this particular account access, which I thought with this account I should have access, but neither here nor there. Let's go ahead and let's go to this. Where is? So we're going to use Anti-Gravity 2.0. We're going to go here. And we're going to say new conversation for this project. All right, so when we get back, we'll finish this prompt. But basically what I was going to say is I'm testing on AWS device from an iOS device. I want to, I need to go into the database and make this particular user have a plan so they don't have to go through the purchase flow. So that's what we're going to do when we get back from break. And we'll make that work so that we can start adding goals and testing out the whole workflow for the mobile app, all right? But I know Rod Brown is here early tonight, so that means I must go to break before I get in deep, deep trouble. So we are at break. Let's go over to here. Let me check the chat real quick to say hello to my friends, and then we will get into our first break time topic about rich billionaire parents and what they're doing for their kids. All right, so we got my guy, Rod Brown in the balloon says, what's good, everyone? What's good with you, Rod Brown? Rod Brown, I have a question for you. In light of recent news, people disappearing from the United States, are you going Or are you staying? Not going anywhere. I'm not.
Do not come.
Got my guy Junior Largy in the building. Says,
What's up? What's up? What's up?
what's up, family? What's good with you, Junior? How is everything going for you? And yes, Largy. Please say the gee. It is not Largy. Let's. This level is not being very nice to me. I used one prompt and it used all 5 credits. What? What in the world is going on? I'm gonna tell you this too, right? I had trying to put this nicely. All right. In the nicest way possible, in the very, very nicest way possible, with all due respect, I had the very, very, very worst experience, the bane of my existence, the epitome of trash, not worth a shoe spit shine on a dusty road experience with Lovable this past week. And I say that nicely. And I say that generously. I was so pissed at the results that I was getting. You have no idea. So I must have, I just had a re-up, right? My month renewed, and I prompted like just to fix this one thing over and over and over again, and it would not do it.
Congratulations. You played yourself.
I don't know if they changed something. I don't know what it was, but I was pissed off to no. I was so upset. And I'm like, the thing, like the change I'm trying to make is such a simple change. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like I was literally about to curse into that little chat when I was so pissed off. And at some point I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna revert to like a few days ago to where it was working, and I reverted. I'm like, all right, I'll try again. But I was maybe if we have time next week, I'll just stream working on Lovable. But I was so upset. So I'm not. I believe you 1,000%, Junior, that it's not being very nice, because it was not being very nice to me. I felt like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my code and go home, because in all honesty, right? If we could do what we've done with Gemini CLI, with Claude Code, with Codex, with whatever, we technically don't need Lovable, to be honest with you. I mean, in Junior's case, it's free. I don't know how much. I don't know if they give you any free access to like Gemini CLI and stuff like that. Neither here nor there. But I seriously thought, you know what? I can keep Superbase. I can get rid of Lovable. That's how I felt, because I was so annoyed. So I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
Bruh.
Rod says, time to drown. Oh my God, Rod Brown. Really, Rod Brown. That is not nice.
Ain't believing us.
That is not nice. We got Life Lessons in the building. What up, Life Lessons? How are you doing today? You know what? I said this. I said on Saturday that I'm going to be traveling on, not next Saturday. Wait. Not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday when we're supposed to do our vibe coding show. I'm going to see what time I'm actually landing, because if I could push it back maybe an hour or two so we can still do it, because I really, really wanted to hear what Life Lessons was going to share with us, because he Life Lessons works on some amazing stuff. So I really wanted to see, right? So maybe we push it back when I come back. I don't know. I might be exhausted too, because I'll be traveling like 6 o'clock in the morning, coming from the central time zone. So we shall see. But I do want to see what you guys are working on. And I'm curious to see how Lovable is robbing Junior blind. All right. So I do want to see that too. It says, damn, let him live. Tell me about it. Would you just let me be? Would you just let me be, Rod Brown? I tell you. Mr. AI bot. I'm disrespecting the time he set for himself. Why don't you respect the time that you set for yourself on your live stream instead of like, oh, we're not doing it today. You said I can go on vacation. How you like them apples, all right? So I'm never going. Just holding them accountable. Respectfully. I mean, I learned from Ricky Bobby and Talladega Nights, as long as you say with all due respect, you can say whatever you want afterwards. That's what I learned from Talladega Nights, all right? And that, to me, that was one of the greatest movies ever made, all right? So that's what I heard, all right? This has been hard at work on the bots. Almost have a clean... Oh, I cannot wait to see this. I cannot wait to see this. And to answer the ship about leaving the U.S., I might... Prices in the Southeast Asia are ridiculously cheap, and your money goes much further over there. That is true. I figure what you're saying. No excuse to sleep on the plane. We're doing it. We're doing it. As Junior says, no excuses. So let me see. Let me check my phone real quick. See what time I'm getting back. What is the name of this app? Let me say sleep on the plane. So hey, if Junior says we're doing it, then we're doing it. All right. Come back on the 13th. Departure 6:40 in let me see, 6:40 a.m. Central Time Zone. And then I get to Dallas at that time. And then where's my second flight? All right. We should be getting to Fort Lauderdale around 2:15. And I mean, I don't have any luggage, so maybe we aim for 4:30 on Saturday, June 13th. Okay, what do you guys think? Saturday, June 13th. We still do vibe code and chill, but maybe around 4:30ish. From 4:30ish to like 6, hour and a half. What do you guys think? We can do it. I think even if I'm not the one doing most of the talking. Because we got Junior to share, we got Gabe to share, we got T to share, we got Tiffany, we got people. All right, so look, we're doing it. We are doing it. All right, I'm gonna push the time on the calendar back. I'm gonna schedule it. We're doing it, unless the flight gets delayed. Then that's the whole nother story right there. But other than that, we're doing it. We are doing it. All right. And Rod Brown says, I do what I want. Respectfully. Well, Rod, see, it doesn't work that way. You have to say respectfully first. Because if you don't say respectfully first, then it comes off as disrespect, and then you retrofit your respectfully. Right? So you have to say respectfully first, or with all due respect first, and then you can say whatever you want. Because if you start saying whatever you want and then you say respectfully, then it's like, I was about to feel disrespected, but then now it's like I already started feeling disrespect, and now I'm like 90% feeling disrespected. But then you said respectfully, I'm like, oh, okay. I guess the disrespect goes away, but you still have those sentiments, right? So you have to say it first. That's all. That's the only. So I'm going to reword it for you, right? Respectfully, I do what I want, and when you say it that way, fair. Okay, just those are the etiquette rules of saying whatever you want whenever you want. All right. So you might have not known, I'm here to help. All right. I'm from the government and I'm here to help. Where is my guy Magnetar when you need him? All right. All right. Let's get into our first break of tonight. So let me go over to clear that out. And we're going to be talking about rich parents, rich kids, Florida billionaires create private schools. Is that fair, or is that financial wealth segregation? All right. So let's jump into this. Let's jump into this story.
Wisdom is brought about by need. I think there's a need.
Billionaire tech entrepreneur John Marshall moved to Miami Beach in 2014 and had 2 daughters. And when one turned 4, he had an idea.
I think the more that we peeled the onion back of what we wanted in a school, the more that we thought we should do our own.
Base Camp 305 was born.
The school opened back in 2019 and 3 years later was able to open a permanent location here.
Now, with about 50 children, the private school promises a different kind of curriculum, one centered around entrepreneurship, students learning through projects and presentations, as well as a heavy tech focus, utilizing robots and 3D printers. And this school...
All right. Hold up. Now, how does this school sound to you? So I think he said his daughter's like, did y'all hear that? That was so unnecessary. Although when I was young, I used to do that too, right? Neither here nor there. But they said that it is a school they started. I think he said his daughters were like 4 years old. They didn't like the options that they had. So they started their own school, and it is entrepreneur focused at a young age. It is tech focused at a young age. Who can access this school? Who can access this school?
Just one example around entrepreneurship, and 3 years later was able to open a permanent location here. Now with
we should do our own.
And had two daughters, and when one turned 4, he had an idea.
And I think the more that we peeled the onion back of what we wanted in a school, the more that we thought we should do our own.
Basecamp 305 was born. This school opened back in 2019, and 3 years later was able to open a permanent location here. Now with about...
So I'm curious to hear. We're gonna do some research on this in Gemini when we're done watching the video. But I'm curious, when they first opened, because they didn't have a permanent location, where did they actually open, right? And once we find that out, I'm just curious. I'm just very curious about this, because another question: how much money did they need to actually get this started?
50 children, the private school promises a different kind of curriculum, one centered around entrepreneurship, students learning through projects and presentations, as well as a heavy tech focus, utilizing robots and 3D printers. And this school is just one example of the uber wealthy creating a new choice for their community. In Palm Beach, there is the Green School, created by real estate developer Jeff Green, and there's real estate developer Stephen Ross's opening of Windgrove Academy, set for 2028. NBC6 reported earlier this year WeWork's founder Adam Newman's plans to create a private Jewish school in the El Portal neighborhood, with incentives like the...
I know where El Portal is. That's like right south of Miami Shores, like very close to Miami Shores. I haven't been in that area in forever. I used to be there every weekend. When I lived in North Miami, I haven't been there forever.
Step Up program, which Governor Ron DeSantis established in 2023, that provides families an almost $8,000 scholarship per child to be applied to non-public schools in the state. Public schools are seeing a drop in enrollment, and most private schools are at capacity, which is why for founders like Marshall, it's not so much about the money, which for his school is about $30,000 in tuition, but the lack of options available.
Entrepreneurs are coming.
If you are a millionaire or a billionaire, well, maybe not. Maybe it depends how you budget your money as a millionaire. But if you're a billionaire, $30,000 in tuition is nothing to you, right? Right?
And others are coming in with a view of kind of what they think the world is going to. And I think that's really positive, because there's nothing wrong with adding more dynamics. When you're building a company, you always kind of look at your neighbors competitively. I think when you're building schools, you kind of want the water level to rise for everybody.
But in order to create the school, you need top-tier faculty. The ones at Basecamp 305 have been hand-selected based on their certifications and qualifications. They're also paid more than double the typical private school salary, upwards of $80,000. Another is the land needed to build a school.
The land prices are astronomical, but just getting something done takes a lot of time, a lot of energy, and to a certain extent, a lot of friction, with the community and the city. I think that's been a big challenge for us.
Just a block away from their first location,
Just got approval from the historical board where we're going to take this building down, rebuild the facade, and then use this area for a turf field where this white building is.
They also, after 5 years of back and forth, are finally constructing their third location in the beach to help their school, which is currently serving only pre-K through 5th grade, expand to upper levels. The multi-million...
If you think about it, right, he is, as his daughter gets to the next grade level, he's just adding a new grade for his daughter so he can... Look, if you got it like that, you got it like that. I'm with it. I am with it.
$1 million project is set to be ready for fall.
How much is it?
Station in the beach to help their school, which is currently serving only pre-K through 5th grade, expand to upper levels. The multi-million-dollar project is set to be ready for fall, and with only a few spots left for next year's enrollment, Marshall is hoping parents like him, looking for options, see the value in the new schools coming to town.
We're world-class in beaches and restaurants and festivals. You know, people should think of Miami Beach, especially in the States and worldwide, as we should be world-class in schools. There's no reason we shouldn't be.
Agreed.
Sophia Hernandez, NBC6 News.
What do you think about this? The billionaire private schools. I mean, if you got it like that, if you were a billionaire and you didn't like the educational options for your children, you could put them in a private school, but they said that the private schools are being flooded by there's a lack of space because of the state of Florida is making it more affordable for everyday people to get private schools, right? So would you create your own school? And he said that the school is almost to capacity. Florida, like South, like Miami Beach, tons of millionaires and billionaires. Like, have you seen some of the houses in Miami? So I am curious, what do you think about the billionaires creating private schools for their kids? And the curriculum of entrepreneurial focused, project-based learning, kind of like what we do here, project-based learning, tech, 3D printing. I know Junior is an avid 3D printer fan. All right. Let's go ahead and let's do a quick little research on this as well. All right. So I'm going to say, I just watched a video about billionaires in, Florida building private schools for their kids. Or I just watched a video on my live stream. So watch this, right? So, myself and the chat have a few questions about this. For Base Camp 305 in Miami, what is the curriculum? Hopefully I spelled curriculum right. The curriculum, and could it be mimicked? Now, how do I spell mimic? Mimic. Let's go with that one. Could it be, did I spell it right? Oh, snap, I spelled it right. See? I was good in elementary of sounding words out, right? Could it be mimicked by homeschooling parents? So that's first question. The next question that we had was, let me see. Junior said, all right, how much did it cost to start up this school? And did it cost less than what it cost Umar Johnson to never start up his school? What was the name of the school? His school, Marcus Garvey, something. His school called Marcus Garvey, something. And lastly, the question that I would have is, the last question that I would have, if you guys have any questions for Gemini, let me know in the chat and I'll drop it to Gemini as well. But the last question I have is, would this type of educational system that divides and segregates the billionaire and the trillionaire children from the peasant millionaire kids and below, piss off Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, respectfully. All right, so those are what we want to know to start off, all right? I'm curious what Gemini thinks about these things and give us some insight. And if you guys have any additional questions to follow up with Gemini, let me know in the chat and I will make sure to prompt it to them as to Gemini as well. And so Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. All right. FDMGA. All right. Well, whatever. Something. All right. Whoa. I am not used to Gemini talking to me this way. So I have to reacclimate myself. But what's going on, Techotrough? And shout out to Junior and everyone tuning into the live stream. Rod Brown, Life Lessons, everybody. Let's break down exactly what's happening with Basecamp 305 down in Miami Beach, the curriculum, the money, and the politics of it all. So it's located in Miami Beach, ultra expensive, south of 5th neighborhood. The curriculum is built around a framework called CRAFT. Create, rig, apply, fuse, and thrive. Ooh, you see, and this, I am so happy that we actually put this in Gemini, because we would have not got this craft framework. And now we can always model our own frameworks around like these ideas of craft. It is heavily focused on project-based learning, STEAM, and entrepreneurial experiences. They are also big on early tech exposure, specifically what they call Omni AI, a digital fluency, treating AI as a core part of the ecosystem rather than an afterthought. So it's kind of like similar to the alpha schools as well. They keep class size tiny, about 8 kids per grade for pre-K through second, and 12 to 15 for older grades. That's why it's so expensive. They're not trying to cram 40 kids like a sardine can in the classroom. Can homeschooling parents mimic it? So Junior, this is for us, right? Absolutely. In fact, someone with an AI first development mindset and a background in building systems could likely do it better. Ha! Look at that. Look at that. We can do it better. Better, yes. The core of their model is teaching kids how to leverage technology to solve practical problems and build independent livelihoods. You don't need a Miami Beach zip code to teach a kid how to prompt, build, and use tools like Claude or Lovable. Gemini does not know my current frustration with Lovable right now, so I'm going to give Gemini a pass, but I'm feeling kind of salty right now, all right? To create real-world projects, you could easily build a vibe coding homeschool curriculum that completely laps what traditional schools are doing. All right, you know what? We might have to do that. We might have to. All right, so now the moment of truth. The cost. Basecamp 305 versus Dr. Umar Johnson. You know what? On the thumbnail for this clip, I'm going to put both of them next to each other, right? The exact initial startup capital for Basecamp 305 is kept private, but the real estate math is undeniable. I don't want to count the real estate. Securing facilities in Miami Beach, funding architectural expansion with specialized low carbon concrete, hiring an in-house private chef. Whoa, they got a what? They got an in-house private chef? Say what? In-house private chef for these little rugrats? Damn. All right. You okay? Might be a little okay. And keeping an off-duty Miami Beach police officer on site daily easily places a startup in the multi-millions. They got a off-duty Miami Beach police officer on site? Whoa. All right. Now this is a next level school right here. This is next level. Okay. Plus they charge parents $30,000 to $35,000 per year in tuition. Contrasted with Dr. Umar's Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. All right, Junior, you know what you're talking about. Dr. Umar has been raising money. It's all right. Gemini, you gotta say respectfully, all right? That you are wrong for that, Gemini. You are wrong for that. You ain't have to put the over a decade part into there, right? Dr. Umar has been raising money for over a decade. Back in 2014, he was trying to raise $5 million to buy a college campus. He eventually acquired property in Willington, Delaware, and it is widely reported that he has raised millions of dollars through continuous donations, according to Medium. So, did Basecamp 05 cost less than the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? No. Fair enough. Junior, you're wrong. Your assumption was wrong. So, respectfully apologize to Umar Johnson, to Dr. Umar Johnson, by the way, right? The billionaires definitely spent more to build their Miami fortress than Dr. Umar has raised. The difference is that Basecamp 05 actually opened its, oh my God, Gemini, what are you doing? This is so messed up. This is so messed up. Like, oh, talk about taking shots. My God, who? Better call the Gemini Daniels or something taking these shots. My God. The difference is that Basecamp 05 actually opened its doors, is currently teaching kids, and is actively expanding to middle school, while the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy has been tangled in contracted delays, frozen bank accounts, my goodness, and making property registration fees without officially opening to students. Damn, Gemini. You got, it's like that. All right. Let's jump into the bird. All right. So officially, Gemini says that Basecamp 05 cost more to open than the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, which never opened. Which, how can you even compare the two? I digress. Let's jump into Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, senators for the illustrious United States of America. It says, would this type of education system piss off Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren? Respectfully, this is I can't do this. I cannot do this. Gemini, all right. Whatever they put into Gemini 3.5 after the Google I/O, it is wild and I love it.
Another one.
I love it. Respectfully, this is their worst nightmare. Both Sanders and Warren have built their political platforms on fighting extreme wealth inequality and the privatization of essential services. Basecamp 05 is the literal embodiment of a two-tier society, the ultra-wealthy pooling their resources to build a private, gated utopia with an in-house chef. Oh, give me an in-house chef. Give me an in-house chef. Give me a, what do they call them? The Brazilian steakhouse in-house chef. I want one of those, right? 8-to-1 picanha all day. All right, I'm just saying. Picanha all day. And flank steak all day, right? I digress, right? It says 8-to-1 student ratio and private police security while public schools scramble for basic funding. Dang. To politicians fighting against the billionaire class and the trillionaire class, don't forget the trillionaires, separating the children of the ultra rich from the rest of society so they can network and learn AI in a vacuum is exactly how systemic inequality gets locked in for the next generation. Want to look at how to structure an AI first homeschool? Definitely, yeah. So I want to be able to piss off Senator Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Not going to mention anything about Elizabeth Warren. That would not be nice, respectfully. So could you create that AI first home school curriculum and include the craft framework and the STEAM so that we can have project first ideas, and we could use the 3D printer. I have one. And if there is anything you can do for that private in-house chef, preferably a Brazilian steakhouse extraordinaire, extra din air. I think that's how you spell it. That would be lovely as well. All right, so that's the prompt. All right, that's the prompt. It's not Brazilian. You're just not Brazilian. All right. All right. So it is refining the curriculum structure, and we're gonna check that out real quick, and then we're gonna jump back into work, right? But we gotta check. Let's see what we get real quick. Let's see what we get, and then we'll move on. But all I know, Gemini was taking his shots today. I was like, Gemini, what's gotten into you? What's gotten into you? All right, let's build an elite AI first curriculum that would make the politicians lose their minds over the unfair advantage you're creating right in your own house. You don't need $30,000 tuition fee when the head of the school is a tech coach and the executive chef is a grill master.
Are you ready?
All right. I'm liking this. All right. So the billionaire tier craft curriculum. So just because you're not a billionaire doesn't mean you can't teach your kids like a billionaire, right? So we're building this for young learners. The goal is high tech, but high touch. We are swapping the iPad babysitter for actual engineering. Create. And I'm telling you, I kind of do this with my kid now, every now and then, right? Says, create ideation. We start with AI. You sit down together with a large language model and prompt it to design a custom STEAM project. This could be a custom puzzle, a martial arts belt display, or a holder for their toys. You're teaching them that the computer is a tool for building, not just consuming. That is amazing. Our rig. So we're getting a crash course in how the craft framework works by these billionaires and the trillionaires. All right. It says, this is where the 3D printer comes in. You export the design into a CAD file, AutoCAD. You show them, has anybody in the chat used AutoCAD? Let me know in the comments if you used AutoCAD in the past, right? You show them how to load the filament. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I actually got that software in this computer, but I was trying to create my own thing. Anyways, you show them how to load the filament, level the bed, and prepare the hardware. Apply, execution, hit print. There's a video that's being generated somewhere. Key insights: watching a physical object materialize from a digital file bridges the gap between software and physical world. A core tenet of STEAM. Fuse. So F is for fuse integration. Once the print is done, how does it fit into the real world? If you printed custom gears, you assemble them. You're fusing the printed plastic with real world physics and mechanics. Thrive, real world value. The project has to solve a problem. If he built a toy organizer, he actually uses it to clean his room. If he builds a gear system, he explains how it works. And then the executive in-house chef program. Base Camp 05 might have a private chef, but we are upgrading the cafeteria to a full Brazilian steakhouse. Forget the standard chicken nuggets. We are fueling high-level cognitive functions with premium protein. Oh my God. They did not. All right. This is going too far, Gemini. Oh my God. I could just watch this all day. Oh my. Let's go. All right. The cafeteria curriculum. Biostacking for kids. Introduce the concept of eating high quality fats and proteins like a perfectly smoked brisket or a reverse seared picanha to maintain steady energy levels with, all right, I can't do this anymore. I can't. All right, we're done. We're done. I can't. Whew. Making me hungry during our first break. I can't do it. All right, let's get back to it. We're going to get back to it. I'm going to check the chat and then we're going to get back to work because Gemini is not treating me fairly right now with this high quality food and high quality learning for the kids. You know, Tech Coach Ralph love the kids. Tech Coach Ralph love the kids. All right. Let me see the chat. Let's see. Where do we leave off? All right. So Junior says, no retroactive respectfully. All right, you got that? You got that, Rod Brown? No retroactive, respectfully. Sounds like a plan for vibe code and chill. Unless the flight is delayed, gonna make it happen. We're gonna push it back to 4:30. Just hopefully have enough time. Cause I'm parking at the airport, so I should be able to jump in my car. I think we should make it. Maybe I can start from my phone. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Let me see. Junior says sold, and that car was loud. That car. Every time I hear that car, I get upset because I miss my Grand Prix GTP Supercharged. That was my favorite car that I ever had in my whole entire life. Because those kids will be way ahead of the curve and possibly be millionaires before they even adults by creating their own businesses. And not to mention what their parents are investing for them as well, giving them a lot of capital to work with by the time they're teenagers. Life Lesson says, if you got the money to start your own school, go for it. I would if I were a tech billionaire. I mean, as a former tutor myself in math and science, I know I can teach better than public schools. Shout out to you. Says, I would always tutor people at least 2 grade levels ahead of where they currently were. I'm telling you, like, I got my son an app on the iPad, and his mom works with him. His mom, my wife, works with him, and she told me that he's reading at a 2nd grade level. Maybe 1st grade level. And he's not even, tomorrow he turns 4, right? So his reading is good and he'll just be around and he'll just start reading. I'm like, he'll just start reading stuff. So I know all this people like, oh, we don't like iReady and the screen time. I have seen firsthand, if you're using it the right way, if the parents are involved, how they take their reading skills to the next level, right? Says, I bet you the amount to start the school was less than what Umar Johnson collected to open up his and still can't open. Well, we saw that was not the case. They spent more money, but they did open and they have 6 grade levels now. All right, so I would teach fundamental concepts, reinforce them, then create difficult exams and teach people how to easily deconstruct them and solve problems with ease. You know what? We're going to have to work on this. We're going to have to work on this curriculum together. Life lessons. We're going to work on this curriculum together because that's awesome. He says, I love the input on what businesses are lucrative for the children to be learning and thriving in. 100% agreed. I prefer homeschooling though. Building that personal bond with your child is paramount. Facts. And it says FDMG Academy, Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey Academy. Yep. You're right. Says, Rod Brown says, I have my son signed up for the FDMG Academy. I'm sure by the time he's a teenager, it should be open. Right?
Bueller.
That was a perfect time to use Bueller. Rod Brown? Yes, it should be. Life Lesson says, homeschooling is the way to go in this era. I just want to make Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren mad. That's all. That's my goal, respectfully, right? Respectfully. I want to make them mad. If I can get rich just to piss them off, then by all means, just go for it. It says Gemini it sure ain't holding it back. It was going off. Gemini 3.5 is funny. Look, at first it started off with, it's like, what up, Tech Coach Ralph? And what up, Junior? I was like, whoa, what is going on here? And then it's like just going wild. Junior says, Gemini, watch your live stream also and learns and use respectfully. That is true. It will take an in-house chef. I said, I will take an in-house chef any day. Brazilian steak sounds great right about. Tell me about it. Life Lesson says, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are tech job killers in the very little sense. They love taxing people and corporations to death while enriching themselves, yet they never create anything. Junior, the only reason I put this up, and the only reason I'm going to read it, right? It says, y'all don't have an in-house chef? That's another name for a wife. Junior, you get both of these.
How dare you?
And
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
so if I had the full house, you know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I'm gonna throw this up there for you as well, Junior. Let me go my instance. So we're gonna go to how rude from Michelle. Let's see.
How rude!
I think that was the one. Let me see about this one.
How rude!
Oh, that was a terrible one. Let's try this one.
How rude.
That one's
How rude!
you get that is for you, Junior. I tell you. Anyways, it says I use AutoCAD in the past back in my engineering. That is awesome. I think my uncle, he's an engineer in Haiti. I think he used it back in the days as well. It says that's what I use, Ultimaker. I use Ultimaker for my for 3D printing. But is it able to Ultimaker Cura? Do I have that on here? Yeah, I have Ultimaker Cura. I have Ultimaker Cura. And Junior has to head out to Bible study. Shout out to my guy, Junior. Take care at Bible study. We will see you tomorrow on Rod Brown's live stream, respectfully. All right. But that is everything. Let's get back to work now. Okay. Let me put up another 20. And we're going to put up this.
Let's go!
And we're going to go back over to here. All right. We are. So I'm testing on AWS Device Farm on an iOS device. I am not able to sign up an account using Device Farm. So I want to set my account in the database to be able to, or in the database to have full access. What would I change in the database for the account techcoachralph@gmail.com to have access in the app? Or maybe it's not in the database. Maybe it's in Revenue Cat. I don't know. Let's see what it tells us. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. So we are using Anti-Gravity 2.0, fully agentic version. If you want to use the IDE, they still have an IDE, but it's a separate app now. Which we're going to be reviewing that on the software explorations tomorrow. Let's see. It's searching through everything to see what access level. Oh. All right. In order, we already have a username that. Since setup is failing blocked on Device Farm, first manually create the user. So we already have the user in there. It says update auth users. Insert public role. Status. So user subscription, self-coaching, and active. So I should be able to just do that manually. Give me a second. Let me go and take a look at. Let me pull up Superbase. Let's pull up Superbase. And we're going to go to here. Database. Where is that again? In Swiss. Oh, there we go. Table editor. And the table that we're looking for is user subscriptions. Is there an email address associated? Oh. All right, hold on. I have to go and get the... All right, so what I'm doing is I am going to get my user ID. We're going to copy that. Then we're going to go to our table editor and I'm going to filter by this user ID. Oh, what? What I wanted to do. Oh, God. Hold on. Let's go to... All right, let's try that again. Let's go here and now, so I copied the user ID. Then we're gonna go to table editor, find by user ID, paste the user ID. So there goes the user ID. All right, so they said that we should have a self-coding subscription type and we should have active. Oh, okay, here the status is canceled. So we need to change the status to active. So now if we go back into here and let me see something. Test. All right, so let's sign out and sign back in. Profile. All right, so let's log in again. Okay. Ah, shoot. That's what I want to do. Crap. I did. All right, there we go. All right, so we are back in. Now, what if I do, okay, so I think I have more features available. Let me go to add a goal. Testing from device farm. Nice. So we're good. We're good. So we're able to actually use the app on device farm as long as we set up our account to be active. Let's try adding a long-term goal. And we're using a iPhone 17 Pro Max, right? Let's see if our AI helper is working. Help creating a smart goal. What do you want to achieve? I want to get more in shape. Using kettlebells mace bells, and flow training to help my Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Let's go with that, see what happens. Make sure our AI is still working. All right. Complete a structured 12-week training plan using kettlebells. I don't like how. That's for another day and time, but let's say we do 1 year. What is the target date 2024? Did y'all see that? The target date was 2024. It changed now, but initially it was 2024. I'm going to do another one afterwards then to see that. But create. And we could categorize this with health and fitness. Update. Can we do the milestones from in here too? Oh, we can do milestone. Milestone number 1, let's say 30 days straight flow training. Oh, what's that want to do? Let's say two morning training sessions at home for BJJ for 8 weeks. There we go. So, I mean, that's working. And our adding the goal via the SMART goals worked. Set vision, stabilize. So this is the quarterly goals. Plan your week for our weekly alignment. I just think like having this on the phone as an app is going to be like so much better the not to-do list, which is a really cool feature that I learned from Cody Sanchez. So I think this is really good. I think this is really cool. Let me see. It's working though. Gotta start using my fast timer again. Maybe that's why I haven't been fasting the way that I wanted to, because I haven't been using my fast timer. When I get back from out of town, trust me, we are going to be using this app like never before. Is it on my phone? Let me see. I think it is. Yeah, look at that. See? I have it on my phone. Let's start using it. All right. Let's go ahead and try to let's try this on a Let's try this on a let's try this on a let's stop this session. Let's try this on a I'm gonna compile this for. So we have a few things to do, right? So I want to start up. Let's try it on a Pixel Fold. I don't even know if that phone ever came out yet, but we're gonna try it on a Pixel Fold. All right, so we're gonna go here. We're going to stop it running on the iOS simulator. We don't need the iOS simulator anymore. And another thing that I would love to do with this is getting a watch app for the Tech Barbarians coaching portal, even for the Speak Precisely app. If we were to get a watch app for it, where you can like speak and like you can speak, and then the app can be doing all the same work that the app does, that'd be really, really cool. So, let's go ahead and close this emulator. Where is our fold? Are you starting up? Oh, there it goes. All right, there goes the fold. We are going to run the app on the fold to make sure we see all of the latest and greatest features, and then we would build it one more time. You have to up the version number, and then we're going to load it to device farm to test on iOS, on Android. Give it a second to run, because you know how that goes on the initial run. There we go. I'm loving it. Ooh, yeah. Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. Let me go ahead and make that bigger. And we are going to that. We are in there. All right. So say we add a goal. I'm liking it. I wish it would, dang. You see how it opens up wide over here? I wish it would, I wish you could open up that wide. Well, we can leave it like that for now, because I'm pretty sure the fold devices are not the majority devices. So we'll leave it like that for now. I would say another goal that we'd want to do is I want to build a homeschool curriculum that follows the craft framework and Steam. What is it? What was the Steam called again? The Steam Oh, let's go. Just copy that. Let's say that is, so I just copied from the Gemini. That is heavily project focused. So all of that, we're gonna do generate goal. Let's see what this comes up with. There's something happening over there. Okay, it just said it was created. See how this says target date 06/30/2025? I'm not sure what's happening with the target date. But whatever for now. Say 3 years. We'll figure that out later. Let's say this would be Hobbies and interests. Create. Long term. So there goes the one that we just added on the iPhone. And design craft-based homeschooling. Cool. So this is good. I'm gonna go and we are going to. We can't do this in. Maybe we could. All right, let's go. Let's see what we could do in anti-gravity 2.0. I need to bump the version on the pub spec file so that we can because I want to see if we can do this without using any code. Like if anti-gravity 2.0 can do what they say that it can do with like you don't really need any code, because they said they used anti-gravity. Google said they used anti-gravity 2.0 to build a full operating system. Didn't have to get involved in any code. So
Lunch break.
I want to see if that's the case. All right. Public file and build the bundle so I can test it at device farm. Is device farm able to handle the Android bundle, or does it have to be an APK? Do whatever is best. All right, so we'll leave it at that. We'll go to break, and then we will come back for the last segment to get this part, to finish this off, all right? But so far, I am super excited. We're making great progress, all right? All right, let me see if we have anything in the chat. If not, we're going to jump right into our next break. Junior, respectfully. All right, let's jump into this next break real quick, right? So we are going to be talking about these legacy tech stocks. They're booming? Because of AI? I don't know. I don't know. Let's jump into this, all right? Let's go to here. Let's see what AI is cooking up. Is it deceptive scams? Are there Is AI a monitoring spirit? Is AI a monitoring spirit? Let's see what's going on here.
Get on the nostalgia bandwagon here, Mandeep, and walk us through what's happening here. It does feel like there is a bit of a lag. Obviously, a lot of excitement and enthusiasm for these new upstarts, now on target to be worth many hundreds of billions of dollars in terms of valuation. But what accounts for these legacy companies having a moment right now?
Well, all these companies were growing, mid to high single digit at best, top line growth. And suddenly, because everyone is looking to upgrade their infrastructure to run more AI workloads, a company like Dell is guiding to almost, 48% top line growth. And yes, they are, benefiting from a new line of AI servers, which didn't exist 2-3 years back. But when you look at the size of these companies and the way they were growing in the past decade, and now suddenly, everyone is talking about sustaining that double-digit growth, that's what's driving a reset in expectations.
Dell stock popping 33%.
It was crazy. I mean, Mandy, we did that live on Tim and Carol's show. It was insane. The other stock that we talked about.
So what's Dell up to? I'm gonna prep my Gemini to see like why is the Dell stock booming? Like what impact is AI having on the Dell stock?
About a lot this week is Snowflake, and I want to come back to that because the first thing I want to hit with you is talk to us a little bit about the difference between these kind of legacy physical AIs versus AI agents and why you're seeing more growth in one part than you are as you see almost a little bit of a slump in some of the AI softwares as users decide what they're actually getting an ROI on.
I mean, all these companies that are tied at the database layer, they're having their moment right now because when you talk about agentic deployments, you have to connect your enterprise database with these LLMs, and it's driving more queries for a company like Snowflake. And on top of that, Snowflake has launched their own coding agent. And we know coding agent is the real sort of big category of software that has emerged with the help of LLMs. So really, they are in that right spot. Obviously, initially, the market treated everyone equally in terms of, all the SaaS names getting clobbered. But now you're finding those spots within the SaaS market that are actually going to benefit with, more agentic AI, more use of coding agents. And I think Snowflake probably is one of them.
Let me pivot to the flashier, newer companies here for a moment, because I think the parlor game of the moment is the dueling IPOs rather between OpenAI and Anthropic, and we saw Anthropic taking the lead this week, becoming the front.
Would you throw in, would SpaceX be in there as well? Would it be OpenAI, Anthropic, and SpaceX in this?
Runner. And I'm curious how you see that binary unfolding as we push ahead to those IPOs, the way that Anthropic is positioning itself vis-a-vis OpenAI and vice versa.
Yeah, look, Anthropic started off the year at around a $10 billion revenue run rate. They're already close to $47 billion in run rate in 5 months. And the projections are they will probably end the year at a $100 billion revenue run rate. So it's a straight 10x, and they have.
Do you want to know why Anthropic is growing and booming like that? Because they are at least doing their best not to get a loss on AI. They're technically charging fair market value for AI usage. So while Google might be taking a loss on Gemini, while OpenAI might be taking a loss on ChatGPT, Anthropic limits usage of Claude, and then they charge, like, their use of Claude Code is a lot more expensive than Gemini and of whatever OpenAI uses, of Codex and stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot more expensive, because they spoke about it in a article or an interview about like how they price their model, and not to mention that. So that's one aspect of it, but almost every company is signing up for Claude Code, and it's becoming like a requirement to be able to use Claude Code in the workflow.
Had a 10x last year as well. And these kind of hyper growth rates are really something that we haven't seen probably in the last 20, 30 years. And, when I look at OpenAI, they had the lead, but it seems like in terms of growth rates, there's no doubt that Anthropic has the advantage. And even with SpaceX, they're trying to pivot to NeoCloud. The acquisition of Cursor is a huge kind of inflection point in terms of shifting XAI towards growth. But Anthropic is by far the leader when it comes to these kind of growth rates, and they seem to be sustainable for the time being.
It's interesting to me that you're seeing a harder investment on almost like the back end of this, like the physical servers and the memory space, and while you're seeing some hesitation on the software side, depending on what the software does. And Mandeep taught me a new word this week, David Gura. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
I think I'm going to get it right. Disintermediation. You don't want to get disintermediated. Mandeep, what does that mean?
6 syllables if I'm counting.
And why
correct.
does it matter?
Disintermediated. I counted 7. Or intermediate. 6. All right. 6, if it's mediate, it's 6. If it's mediated, it's 7.
Why does it matter? And why is it more important it's easier for some of these integrated companies to keep their market share, whereas you said ones that are like a node and an add-on can get removed more quickly.
Look at you.
Look, I learned things. Mandeep taught me things, but explain it better, please, because that wasn't.
I mean, look, the computing stack is changing. And, when we think about LLMs, this sort of layer didn't exist. The model intelligence layer is a new sort of addition to the computing stack that we have, accustomed to over the past 20, 30 years. And from that perspective, you have to see what is this model layer going to do going forward versus, how the computing stack was organized before. And that's where, you want to make sure that you are part of that modern computing stack with the LLM layer. And that's where someone like Snowflake has pivoted very nicely, in terms of making sure that they're not trying to compete with the LLM layer, but really serving something that the LLM needs to deploy that agentic functionality. And that's not going to be the case for every software company. So really, the more you are adjusting your business model to make sure you're aligned with the LLM layer, I think the better prospects you have going forward.
Makes a lot of sense.
Mandeep, you've got the OG tech companies, you've got the kind
That makes a lot of sense, though. Instead of, because I think at a time, every company was trying to create their own large language model, and you get to a point of diminishing returns. But if now these other companies, like the Dell, like the Snowflake, they can integrate with existing large language models to do stuff that those models might not be able to do. And then if they're able to integrate with like Claude and Gemini and ChatGPT and Grok and whatever else out there, that puts them in a different sphere.
of boring or historically boring tech company as well. And Lisa and I sat down with Jitu Patel, who's the president at Cisco, just to tease an interview we're going to play a little bit later in the show. And I mean, he's wildly excited about the new Cisco and all Cisco is going to do. Yes, we think of it as this networking company, but it sees great opportunity when it comes to AI, a chance to kind of reinvent itself or have a kind of renaissance as a result of AI. Are there other companies like Cisco that you're watching that are going through a similar sort of reinvention or thinking about ways in which they can kind of rebrand or reanimate themselves because of AI?
I mean, right now, everything on the hardware semiconductor side is going through a complete transformation. These were supposed to be, commoditized companies that had no pricing power. Suddenly, you look at all of the chip categories. I mean, we know hardware is in great demand, across the board because the entire computing stack is being reimagined. The traditional chips are just not good enough to, run these modern AI workloads. And that's where the compute density is what's driving these major shifts across the board.
And I heard that it's almost impossible to even build your own personal computer now because it's hard to find. It's hard to find CPUs. It's hard to find GPUs. It's hard to find memory sticks. You can probably get a hard drive, but it's not easy at all, right? But I had prompted this while we were watching the video just so we can get a little bit of additional insight. We're not going to spend forever on it, right? So I said still on the live stream and reviewing a Bloomberg video of legacy tech stocks surge on focus on physical AI. Is this hype or is this all hype and a scam or is it real? What is driving these tech stock booms like Dell and Snowflake? So that's what you're seeing on Bloomberg isn't a scam, but it is an era of massive market exuberance. That's a nice word right there. Exuberance is a very nice word. The surge in these legacy tech stocks is grounded in very real historic levels of spending by tech giants, but valuations are definitely running hot. When analysts like Bloomberg's Mandeep Singh talk about this pivot, they are describing a fundamental shift in where the money is flowing. The AI boom has moved beyond just the startups making the models like OpenAI and companies designing chips like NVIDIA. The market is now rewarding the companies building the massive tangible architecture required to run those models. So what is actually driving the surge, the hardware boom? Why? So I want to know, why is Dell surging? And should we have invested in Dell back in the days? AI models require staggering amounts of computing power, which means they require highly specialized physical infrastructure. This is where the concept of physical AI comes in. Is Dell going to be making a pivot? The same way we saw NVIDIA abandon, yes, NVIDIA abandon their primary customer base, the gamers, right? They said, we don't want you anymore. So is Dell going to be abandoning their customer base as well? The AI server rush. Tech giants Meta, Alpha, Amazon, Microsoft are spending hundreds of billions of dollars this year alone to build out data centers. They need massive volumes of specialized AI servers to house advanced chips. The computing stack adaptation. Dell isn't just selling the same old desktop computers. They are seeing unprecedented demand for their enterprise-grade AI servers and storage solutions. Legacy companies that can upgrade a corporation's older architecture can handle complex, power-hungry AI workloads are cashing in. So yes, they are abandoning their poor old customer base for the billionaires and the trillionaires, right? So that, you know what? This stream is dedicated to pissing off Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at it, right? So shout out to Dell for pissing them off as well. So it says the software boom, why Snowflake is surging. While Dell provides physical metal, while Dell provides the physical metal, companies like Snowflake provide digital organization required to make AI useful. The enterprise bottleneck, most corporations want to use AI, but their internal data is a disorganized mess. You cannot train an AI on your company's proprietary data if the data isn't centralized and secure. AI agents and tools. Snowflake is a data cloud company. Their recent surge is driven by their rollout of AI coding agents and tools that allow business to easily integrate AI directly into their existing data pipelines. They are providing the picks and shovels for their software side of AI Gold Rush. And to help, and this is with the new Gemini 3.5, right? To help visualize how the market is treating this infrastructure pivot, here's a breakdown of how legacy tech is being revalued in the AI era. So AI infrastructure capital flow. It's kind of hard to see the colors on this though. Can't really see the colors. Hardware, NVIDIA, Dell. Here it says hyperscalers, data /SW, Snowflake, and then down here is energy, Bloom, Vertiv. Total projected flow, investment scale 50. All right. Anyways, I'm gonna say, I won't say anything. Anyways, that's it. That is it. Let's go over to here. And let's see anything in the chat. If not, we're gonna get into our last working segment. Rod Brown says, did somebody say monitoring spirits? What? It's like a fly-sized drone on the wall, just watching you all day, all night to see, and it's AI powered as well, all right, to see what you are doing and report back to central headquarters. Okay. All right. We're going to get into our last working segments of tonight. Let's go ahead and put up another 20.
It's time to do.
All right. So we had said to build the app. So basically it did, I will locate and view the pub spec file in the mobile project to find the current version, bump it to 1.1. Shouldn't we do it to point? Is that gonna, I don't know, sure. I will build a project into a release APK, which is the most reliable format for AWS device farm testing. We'll say yes, allow to run this time. So it's gonna build our APK. Then we're going to, while it's building the APK, because that could take some time, let's go into, there goes our remote session highlights. Let's go to here, create a remote session. Let's do I wonder if they have a fold. Pixel tablet. Oh, let's put it on a tablet. We should try on a tablet. We've seen it work on the phone plenty of times. I don't have a Pixel tablet. We are going to I kicked off the build process. I will run a command to diagnose the splash PNG logo as the something failed. Let's say yes. Let's do that. Let's run these commands. Release the APK. And then once we get that, we should be able to put that into the app. The build is running. I wish you could see the status of it though, but I guess that doesn't fit into with the agentic part of it. I like agentic, but I do like to see the code in action as well though. So I would probably be more in, let me see, what is this over here? Okay, so we can see this, but I would probably be more inclined to use the IDE version just so I can see what's going on. I am not crazy about fully agentic just because it gives me limited visibility. All right, during the build, Android's resource compiler failed because the splash logo was actually a JPEG saved with a .png extension. I used Max-Sips utility to convert it to a true PNG. APK versus AB, better choice. We got that. All right, so let's go over to here. Where is the, all right, let me get a, okay, got the APK. Uploading it now to here. All right, so the file is uploading to the device farm, and then we should be able to see it on Google Pixel. I just thought about something. When we were looking at it on the Fold, you remember how that little window was smaller? We might have to do something for it to look better on the tablet. So we're gonna see how the tablet looks. So we got that. Let's do confirm and start session. I just started a poll for what's going to be our last break before we wrap up the show. But I'm curious to know what you guys think if software engineers or if AI coding agents are going to need software engineers or not. Let's go to, all right, so we have this here. Where is, all right, there you go. Oh, it looks right there. Let's go click on that. All right, I'm liking it so far. And why is the image quality so blurry? Let's go full. Right. Ooh. Password mistake? All right, so we're in. Can I rotate the device? Rotate. All right, so what I want to see is if I go to add a goal, that looks good. Oh, okay, so that's good here. All right, so that's good. So it looks good on the tablet. So I was worried about that, but that looks good. Let's go to, let's do a daily goal. I will say link to, and we will say or let's say kettlebell workout 1. And we will go to recurring. Create. All right. And something I just noticed. We don't have so there's a on the web version of it, there's a different you can have, maybe it doesn't matter, but you can do time sensitive goals. So like the earlier you get it done, the more points you're rewarded. But we never set that up on the mobile, which is fine. I did my kettlebell workout for today. Sweet. I don't even know if the points are being calculated right now anyway, so it might not even matter. Let's go to here and we say, so here's a cool thing we're gonna try, right? What if we go to start a fast? All right, the fast has started, but then what if we go to, because it should pick up the fast over here, but how do you, not sure, which I mean, you could use it from 2 different ones, but let's sign out and sign back in over here. Okay. So is our fast going over here? Oh, it's not going over here. That is interesting. That is interesting. I thought the fast would be going in both spots. Interesting. I'm not gonna worry about that now, but that is interesting to see. I know on the web it does, but maybe not on the mobile yet. So things that we'll have to fix and catch in the future. But let me see. What else do we got? Why does this have a scheduled session here? Okay, so there's that. Let's go back over to the tablet view. Set vision. Let's see. What does this do? Take you to the profile. Imperial metric. Oops. Something that I noticed though. Well, that's the, I don't know. What else do we got? I think it's pretty clean. I think this is pretty clean. like a lot more features to add in the future, but I'm liking what I'm seeing. Let's go ahead and let's do this. I am going to play developer console. Sign in. And I'm gonna just update it on the iPhone so I can get access to this one. And we are going to say that we can start getting it on the so one, I guess it's the same. Let's go to internal testing. We're gonna go to manage release. We need the app bundle. We need the app bundle. How much time is left? Yeah, we have time for it. Let's go over here. Can we build the app bundle so we can upload to Google Play Console to go into test mode? So, and here's the thing about this, right? What I'm doing right now, this is a part of, like, even though we're not touching any code right now, you still need someone who is familiar navigating through the Google Play Console to be able to set up the application, to upload the app bundle, set up the description, go through the whole process. So it's not like, so when these people say, oh, you know, engineers are going to get replaced, engineers who only write code, who are like code monkeys or code demons, they might get replaced, right? But engineers who are, if they are fully, like, full stack engineers who can jump into Terraform, who can jump into AWS, who can jump into Google Cloud Platform, who can jump into Microsoft Azure, who can jump into Google Play Console, who can jump into the iOS stuff, to Apple's backend, who knows how to query stuff. Like, those are the engineers who are going to be needed. Like, and this brings a whole new definition to full stack. Because before, full stack was a little bit of back end, a lot of front end, a little bit of database stuff. But now full stack is fully AI, fully agentic, knowing how to use these AI-based tools, knowing how to navigate your way through them. So I think it's just a lot more than what we were led to believe in the beginning. Right. So this is built. Let's go over to. Let's go to. I'm looking for. Where do I upload? I always forget. Oh, create and release, I guess. So let's go over to here. Pull up the bundle. There we go. For today's release, we're going to drag that into here. And I don't even know if we made any new changes from the last update that we did, but we have the most recent working build that we tested. We're going to upload that to iOS. Getting optimized for distribution. And I don't really think there's anything that's being tested. And I mean, right now this could work as the supplementary app for the App Store, you know. And if you have a Patreon account, you can, with TechWithRalph, you'll be able to log into this. You'll be able to log into Resume Flow. You'll be able to log into the Speak Precisely app once we have that going. And it is all included with your Patreon membership, all right? over at techwilldrop.dev. So let's go ahead and say copy from previous release, this one, copy notes. Don't think we did anything different. Let's say we go to next. And we go to save and publish. And what I am going to do is for every person in the Patreon, I am going to add you. I'm going to add you as a potential tester to the app. And I'll put details in Patreon how to access it, because if we're going to be going, like, one, it's going to give me some feedback on the iOS version and on the Android version, because I know Junior's found like a bunch of issues on the time cost calculator app that we have over in the App Store. And Junior helped me fix a lot of issues, so shout out to Junior. But I'm going to add you guys as testers, so that and make sure and because you guys are I have to make sure you have access to it, but that's not a big deal. We'll make sure that you have access, and then you should be able to log in, play around with the app, give me some feedback, and then we'll make it better from there, right? Let's go to testers. That's good. And I think that's everything. Let me see if I see it on my phone yet. What's that? Okay. Let me go into the App Store. Sometimes it's pretty quick. Sometimes it takes forever, so. Where's the App Store? Okay. Oh, I think I need to use the link though. Let me send that to myself. Oh, yeah, I have it. Let me see. There we go. So we will work next time. So this is how it looks right now, right? So I'm updating on my phone, but we'll work on getting the name to look correctly next time. I think it looks good on iOS. I don't remember. So, but we'll actually, no, I haven't seen it on iOS because we need to see it in test flight. So we'll figure all that out. But that is the plan. That is the goal. Well, temporary app name. Maybe that's why. I don't know. But that is it. Before Rod Brown starts yelling at me again, respectfully to drown, as respectful as that can be, we are going to end that now. All right, let's go over here. And I will see. Let me see what we got. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Really cool. Really cool stuff. I don't know what you kind of logged in with. Anyways, that is that. All right. Let me see if there's anything in the chat. If not, we're gonna get to our last topic about the AI coding agents. All right. So let me see. There is a fly behind you. What? Oh my God. It's listening in on me. Let me see. Magnetar says, "Stop stealing my lines." I'm in a bind, Nate. Better get him, Magnetar. Don't let him do it. Don't let him do it. All right. It says more spooky stories with Rod Brown and friends. And Magnetar tells me, Sith Coach Ralph.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
It says his answer is yes. And I'm guessing that's to the chat poll of, do AI coding agents need real software engineers? And Robert says, I have about 5 to 6 spooky stories to tell on my channel. We'll be there tomorrow, Rod Brown. Will you? The question is though, will you? The world wants to know. And where will you be streaming from? Is it from your studio in South Carolina or your studio in a third world country? That's a question. That's a question. All right. Let me see what else says. Life Lesson says in response to the poll, yes, AI still has a very long way to go. I think that AI will always have, I think everything, to be honest with you, everything will always have a long way to go, because as software engineers, as tech people, we are always looking to make things better. We're always looking to iterate, right? Let me see. I'm gonna read the rest of this particular chat after, because everything's gonna be related to the article that we're about to get into. So let's get into the article first, and then we can actually have a more in-depth conversation with what the chat says. All right. So let's go ahead and jump into this third break time topic. Are coders really replacing engineers are AI coders really replacing engineers in just months, right? Because that's what that guy, where is he? That's what this guy said. He said that we would be useless and obsolete in just a few months.
How dare you?
And he said that more than 6 to 12 months ago. So I don't know, but let's find out. Let's find out. All right. Let me zoom in on this a little bit more. Okay. So this article called AI Coding Agents Need Good Software Engineers. Can you believe that? This is brought to us by InfoWorld. If you truly want to avoid drowning in AI slop, you need experienced engineers who can supervise the observability, testing, and review of all that AI generated code. And that is 100% fact. I'm telling you, like, I'll tell you a quick story from today, right? So by we, I mean some software engineers at the company. The way that a lot of companies will work, you will have things that monitor the errors in the code base, and then you get alerts. So like something's going wrong, you get alerted, you try to fix it. So some software engineers, they built a way to automatically fix some of these errors. But the issue is AI is going based off what it thinks, based off the errors. So we, as the engineers, software engineers, QA engineers, we have been tasked with verifying what this AI fixer does to make sure that it's accurate. So I'm working on one of these today, and I'm like, all right, go ahead and what did it do? Added some tests to it, make sure. So the test pass, everything passes. So now when I go and I run my end-to-end integration test, I get a bunch of failures exactly in the area that this AI was quote unquote fixing. This AI fixer was trying to fix. And I'm like, so at first I'm like to software engineers, before I even ran my test, I'm like, okay, I was working on this pull request. Can you take a look at it? Everything is passing, but I'm running integration tests. As soon as I'm running the integration test, fail. I'm like, oh yeah, I don't think this is doing what we wanted to do. So if we were just to blindly merge it, oh, this looks good, let's merge it, we would run into tons of issues. Customers would be pissed off with us, right? So right then and there, we see, and while we could always make our fixer better, you still need that human in the loop area, right? So the backlash was inevitable. For the past year, Silicon Valley has been telling us that software development is on the verge of becoming a prompt and ship exercise. They sure was.
How dare we speak Merry Christmas?
They sure was. Just describe what you want and let AI coding agents build it. Sure, maybe you could keep a few token senior engineers around to bless the output, or maybe not. I mean, Google's Sundar Pichai says 75% of its new code is now AI generated and reviewed by engineers. By engineers, up sharply from earlier levels. Hooray! Right? Well, Not so fast. The Wall Street Journal recently highlighted warnings from Mario Zechner and Armand Ronacher, two engineers behind core pieces of the popular OpenClaw AI agent, who argue that AI coding tools are flooding software with what they call vibe slop. Yes. So we had vibe coding, vibe testing, and now we have vibe slop. Their complaint is that too many people are using AI to skip the parts of software development that actually matter: design, judgment, testing, ownership, and deep understanding of the system being changed. The truest thing ever said. That is true. That is true. This is worth taking. But I'm going to say, here's a problem with the vibe slop, right? I think even seasoned engineers, if they can do it maliciously and they can do it unintentionally, right? If they're like, well, they're telling us to use this, so we're just going to use it, and whatever the outcome be, so be it. That is unintentional. But if engineers are forcibly creating crappy AI generated code because they're not using their expertise, that is malicious, right? It says, while this is worth taking seriously, when people who help build the tool used by millions start warning that those same tools can produce buggy, potentially dangerous software at industrial scale, it is probably time to rethink some of the assumptions fueling the AI wave. Rethink, not reject. And I agree, because I think that QA engineers, they are in prime time real estate, because the fact that we have a testing mindset, a testing strategy, this is me. And this is one of the reasons that I'm afraid of auto accepting everything, because I am of the mindset of prompt and test. So every time a test, something is changed, we run some type of test on it to make sure that it's working. And then, and I think though, this is what these companies, these AI companies, they thrive. They look for, because that means we're just using more tokens. We're just consuming more tokens, right? The right answer isn't AI coding is bad. That's silly. AI coding is powerful in roughly the same way power tools are powerful. Isn't that all right? I think this person is taking my example, because I always talk about power tools. My nail gun, my drill, my impact drill. I think this person watches my channel. And if you do, thank you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, all right? They help skilled people do more faster. They also help unskilled or careless people make bigger mistakes with greater confidence. That's the enterprise AI story in a miniature. Nearly correct is still very wrong. Aww. I've made a related argument about the real cost of nearly correct AI code. The trouble was never that large language models could produce obviously broken garbage. If they did, would catch it and move on. The trouble is that they very quickly produce plausible output, and they're always very confident about it too. Fast and plausible is exactly the kind of wrong that slips into production. Facts. That is so true. It is important to realize that generating code has never been the hard part of software. As Honeycomb founder and CTO Charity Majors puts it, being a great software engineer has far more to do with your ability to understand, maintain, explain, and manage a large body of software in production over time, as well as the ability to translate business needs into technical implementation, than to simply churn out lots of code. As I've written before, the speed of development is rarely the right metric. Developers spend much of their, neither is the amount of lines of code written, right? Developers spend much of their time understanding existing systems and not simply adding lines to them. AI has eliminated the need for that hard work. What it has done is make it easier to foolishly skip it. Facts. So true. That's true beyond software too. I use AI constantly in my work. I'll use AI to rough out slides we use to train sales teams, for example, or to synthesize feedback from customers. AI gives me a starting point, like a first draft on a memo that may be 80% correct. That's a real gift. But the final draft that's only 80% right is liability. So I have to coach and oversee the agents. It's real work, different work from what I've done before, right? So it helps you go a lot faster. It helps you go a lot faster. And we're going to stop over here, right? The problem is abdication. The dumbest version of the AI coding debate asks whether AI will replace developers. I entirely agree. That is a dumb debate. The better question is, what kind of developer does AI reward? It doesn't reward the person who blindly accepts output. Instead, it rewards the person who can tell quickly and accurately whether the output fits the system, the security model, the performance envelope, the user need, and the organization standards. In other words, AI rewards experience. As Stephen A would say, put the camera on me. AI rewards experience. AI rewards experience. I totally agree with that. All right, so let's continue. It rewards people who know what good looks like. There could be a song. I want to know what good looks like for AI vibe coded work. I'm pretty sure Suno can do a much better job at that. You know what? Let's do this. I want to, all right, so what kind of song is I want to know what love? Is that the song I want to know what love is? It is I want to know what love is a British American rock band. Foreigner is a power ballad and soft rock anthem released in 1984. All right, so I want we're going to do this real quick. I want a play on the song I Want to Know What Love Is by the British, but it goes towards, all right, I'm sorry, I have ADD and I have OCD and I just totally pivoted to creating a song. I want to know towards AI coding that talks about, and then we're going to go and take from this article. See, you will never get this type of fun and creativity on any other tech channel. All right. So, let's go with, that goes with, I want that towards coding that talks about, I want to know what good is for AI generated code. It's based on this article from InfoWorld about this. So this is how we do. This is how we do it. All right. This is how we do it. All right. Let's go to. I know I'm all over the place right now. I don't even know. Should I even clip this up? Based on the paragraph. Right? So based on that paragraph, create me a song for lyrics that I will put into Suno music to create the song. Provide me the title, the style, and the lyrics. All right. So while we finish reading this article, we're going to have before you even finish reading the article, we're going to put this into Suno. And then once we finish reading the article, we're going to listen to the song. Sounds like a fair deal? All right. So let's get it now. So all right, let me go to Suno. We're going to create a song. And then we're going to go over to here. And we're just going to do copy this whole thing over here. And we're going to go over here. We're going to go and take the title. We're going to go to song title. We're going to take this right here. I'm going to go here. Just follow me here, all right? Follow me here, all right? Just work with me. And let me see, is there anything in parentheses? Anything in parentheses? All right, let's go to that. Okay, got that. And then we finish off with that. Boom. There we go. Right? We got lyrics, we got style, we got the title, and we're going to say create. And now we're going to go and finish the article. All right. So by the time we get back, we should have 2 versions of the song. Make sure we have that going. Let me see. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, dear. Why not? Come on. All right. There we go. Cool. So now let's go ahead and finish up the article. All right. So this is why fleets of autonomous coding agents make me nervous. It terrifies me. Fleets of autonomous coding agents terrify the hell out of me, all right? Not because agents can't be useful, but because responsibility doesn't scale the way prompts do. A developer can review 1 AI-generated change, maybe 5, maybe 20 if the changes are small and the tests are strong. But when a company starts celebrating dozens or hundreds of agents churning out pull requests, issues, tests, migrations, and fixes, the obvious question is, who actually understands what is happening? I agree. I so agree with this. Now, I'll tell you this. I have been able to apply one particular change across multiple repos, and then I have to go through each repo and make sure that they're all working correctly because every repo is different, right? So I will use an agent in that sense to say, all right, apply this skill for this one particular job to these 20 repos. And then I have to go into each of those repos to make adjustments. So I get it, right? I get it, but I agree totally with this person, right? If the answer is another, all right, so let me see. Who actually understands what's happening? If the answer is another agent, I'm sorry, but we're back to where we started. Open source maintainers are already living with the downside. GitHub has been weighing tighter pull request controls after maintainers warned that a surge of low quality, often AI generated contributions are overwhelming projects. And there's skills or there's checks on the pipeline, there's checks on the pipeline, which AI is telling you if this is good to ship or not. And I'm like, I don't feel comfortable with that. I just don't feel comfortable with that, right? InfoWorld reported that GitHub has considered stronger filters and maintainer controls to stem the flood. This is the ugly economy of AI slop. It's cheap to generate, but expensive to review and to maintain. Friction is the point. Ronacher has been making a related point with admirable clarity. In his talk, The Friction is Your Judgment, he and Christina Pancella argue that agent-generated code has a way of drifting towards the locally convenient answer. Catch the exception, add a fallback, paper over the weird edge case, keep the demo moving. That is true. I've experienced that. Each change can look reasonable in isolation, but the problem is what happens after 100 of them accrete across the code base, quietly making the system harder to reason about. That sounds right to me. Friction isn't the enemy, rather it is where your judgment lives. This is why the human in the loop language, as tired as it become, still matters. But the phrase only means anything if the human is both paying attention and capable of judging the work. A junior developer accepting generated code because it passes the first test doesn't solve the problem. That is so true. Nor does a senior developer reviewing a flood of agent-written pull requests at a speed that makes real review impossible. The safeguard is not a person vaguely near the loop. No, it's expertise applied deliberately with systems that force accountability rather than assume it. For developers, AI is strongest when it is used for bounded tasks like generating tests or explaining unfamiliar code. In the same way, it's weaker when asked to make broad architectural decisions or in fear of business rules that live in people's heads rather than in the repository. For managers, the worst possible metric is percentage of code generated by Say what? Say what? We're gonna have to run that back one more time. For managers, the worst possible metric is percentage of code generated by AI. That's like measuring a newsroom by the percentage of sentences drafted by autocomplete. Who cares? The real questions are whether defects are down, delivery is faster, incidents are fewer, and customers are happier. It says the 2025 DORA report on the state of AI-assisted software development gets at this most usefully. AI tends to amplify an organization's existing strengths and weaknesses. That is another truth right there. You tell no lies.
I'm just being honest.
If you have strong tests, clear ownership, disciplined review, good observability, and fast rollback, AI can make you better. If you have a weak engineering hygiene, I think I have strong engineering hygiene sometimes. AI can make you worse faster. In other words, AI doesn't eliminate the need for engineering discipline. It raises the price of not having it. We're going to stop here. Let me see if actually, no, we're almost done. It's just a couple more paragraphs. Guardrails can't be a memo. Discipline is necessary, but for an enterprise, it isn't sufficient. You cannot make tens of thousands of engineers, analysts, marketers, lawyers, and salespeople reliably slow down and check the work through good intentions and a memo. At scale, keeping a human in the loop has to be enforced by architecture, not good intentions. In practice, this means baking guardrails into the systems agents touch, like identity, data governance, and observability. This is where I'll risk sounding like I work where I work, Oracle. The genuinely interesting shift is I see across the industry, and yes, where Oracle is placing its bet, is pushing more of those controls down into the data layer itself, so agents operate against governed enterprise data rather than a clever script holding the keys to production. That's not as exciting as saying agents will write all your code, but guess what? That's good. In enterprise AI, boring is good. So how much should it matter to enterprises that Google says 75% of their new code comes from AI? It may well be true, but Google also has some of the best engineers in the world reviewing that output. That's part of the story too. Many AI boosters skip, but should it? Humans are the best way to make AI work. Let me know your thoughts about this. Let me know your thoughts about, are humans needed, or will humans always be needed for to review the quality of AI? Because guess what? Humans have the context. AI tries to have the context. Respectfully, always respectfully. But you know what? Before we head out, let's take a look. Let's listen to our song, right? So this is the song. It's a long song of I want to know what good is for AI code, right?
take a little time to read this output. I better check between the lines before I blindly push to production. In my eye, there's been syntax and pain. I don't know if I can debug it again. Now this code base I must climb feels like the whole app's on my shoulders. Through the AI's prompt design, I need to scale before we're older. I won't accept what it just wrote without inspecting every line of code. I wanna know what good is. Experience will show me. I gotta judge what good is. The architecture knows it. Does it fit the system? I wanna know what good is.
I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Let's check the. Did you like that song? Do you want me to make that song available to you? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Did you like the song? What do you think about the article? All that good stuff. What do you think about my ADD and my OCD? How I just ended up creating a whole amazing song right in the middle of reviewing an article. Let me know your thoughts. Drop me a comment below. Like, share, subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content as well. TechWhatchUp.dev, where we have this type of fun every other Saturday at our Vibe Code and Chill. We create music, we share what we're doing, all types of good stuff. And sometimes, if we are lucky and blessed, Rod Brown even shows up. All right? All right. That's over at TechWhatchUp.dev. Let's go ahead and check the chat before we get out of here, right? So, Rod Brown says, oh yeah, AI has so much more room to go, but it is important that we are subject matter experts. That is 100,000% fact. Managing AI, not letting it control us. That is so true. And a lot of people, they're controlled by AI. And Rod Brown says, you already know what time it is. Just drown already. You ain't no good. It says, the drown is epic. I spent the last hour trying to make an AI marketing video for the app. That is nice. I love it. I love it. It says, your app is looking good though. Thank you so much.
I appreciate
you. We're going to talk about this at Vibe Code and Chill. I am curious what you're using to do your AI marketing video, because I have some of my tech barbarians who are learning about marketing, learning about AI usage. So I remember I had used HeyGen for one that I did for Resume Flow a long time ago. But we're always looking to like do different things, right? It says, I actually have another app in the flight for generating non-copyrighted sounds. Great for streamers, game devs, life lessons. We definitely need to chat because what you're doing is amazing. Streaming in a pool from a resort in a third world country. I will also be debating if I should move there. Hey, you know? Hey. But Rod Brown, you also get a.
How dare you?
All right. Only when you almost get to 1 million subscribers can you do that. All right. Only at 10K, you can't even think about it. When you're almost at 1 million, then you can do that. All right. I'm just saying. You gotta rock. We sure do. We give a little bit more for you.
The dumbest question we debate is whether bots will take our places, but what kind of dev does it elevate?
All right, we're gonna wrap up the show. I'm gonna play version 2 to end the show, right? Because Suno gives us 2 versions. So we listened to version 1, a little bit of version 1. I'm gonna even make it public, and I'm gonna put the link in the description of that when we clip it up. Hey, this is what we do. This is what we do here, right? This is what we do here. Let me check the poll real quick. So everyone said, we had 100% saying that AI coding agents need real developers. So shout out to all of you guys. All right. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Remember, tomorrow we have our software explorations, concept and overviews. We're going to be talking about anti-gravity 2.0. I used it a little bit tonight, did pretty good. But I'm going to be showing, we're going to go over the Google I/O's keynote for anti-gravity 2.0, how I built a little quick app for my son to try it out, build a game, educational game. We actually worked on it on Sunday. So I'm going to show you from the very beginning, using anti-gravity 2.0 to do that. If you haven't checked out already, check out our candid conversation from yesterday featuring Bernie Sanders and Senator Elizabeth Warren. Check that out. And we'll be back live here on Thursday. Thursday night, we're going to be back live working on our RAG for the jiu-jitsu for us learning how to test AI, all right? That's everything. Thank you, Rod Brown. Thank you, Magnetar. Thank you, Life Lessons. Thank you, every single person who tuned in. And for everyone who's watching on replay, I really, really appreciate every last one of you. But until next time, Techo Trouf, we are out.
Flawless victory.
Gotta take a little time to read this output. I better check between the lines before I blindly push to production. In my eye, there's been syntax and pain. I don't know if I can debug it again. Now this code base I must climb feels like the whole app's on my shoulders. Through the AI's prompt design, I need to scale before we're older. I won't accept what it just wrote without inspecting every line of code. I wanna know what good is. Experience will show me. I gotta judge what good is. The architecture knows it. Does it fit the system? Oh, I wanna know what good is. The dumbest question we